Hello everyone and welcome back to that one playthrough of MMORPG Tycoon 2. I am Kyle once again, back in all his glory, but also with a number of updates. And not necessarily updates to my own built game, but updates to the way things are structured. For example, apparently now when I zoom in and places are no longer accessible, meaning people can't walk into them, there's these little red icons, which are scaring the crap out of me right now. Because quite frankly, I've put a bunch of in space, like inside of this rock, for example, to hide all the in space that I needed in, previous iterations of the game. And now people cannot go into said in space. I'm also not sure I need the in space anymore. Why, you ask? Well, for example, this inn currently is a small inn with 2,000 residents. This is a large inn with 2,000 residents. So like the small inns now house more people. The reason they house said many peoples is because of, where'd that other thing go? Because of tech, and quite specifically incapacity boost. I already did this once and it increased my incapacity, I think from like 1,000 to 2,000 for everything, and this will do it again. So I don't think there's any limit to how many times I can continuously do this as long as I'm willing to spend the money and the developer hours. Which means there's not really a need to add more inns to locations anymore, and because people can't get to these anyways, I'm not sure they're being utilized. Now, I don't want to get rid of this rock, because right now the rock is a staple of this community, an upstanding citizen of its own right. So I'm going to leave the rock there as a means of being all rocky. Now, you might also ask, Kyle, why did the things inside the rock no longer become accessible? Well, I'm glad you asked, stranger. You see, things inside of objects are now impassable. Oh, that guy just literally walked around that rock. It was a good example. But if we go around and we watch people move, probably good spots would be out here in the voids of chaos amongst the spiders. But yeah, parties and characters should be moving around large objects like these trees now. Like, are you guys going to cut a different direction? Yeah, see, they had to cut around it. Previously, they would have just walked their saucy butts straight through that thing. They would have just been like, kablamo, through there. Now, I haven't tested this myself. I should probably grab some random poor soul that has unexpectedly been captured by me. Okay, like this guy, you're by yourself. You, sir. We'll just take control of this guy. Now, I don't know how much this affects me. Whoa there, Kyle. I don't know how much this affects me, per se, as the Devi character player guy, man. But I'm gonna see if I can just... Is this a hard wall? It's a hard wall, everyone. It's a hard wall. It's now a hard wall. Look at this. I cannot run through it. I'm running through part of it. I partially ran through it. I'm gonna admit there, the hitbox was not exactly, yeah, like this right here, there's a visible wall. The hitbox is, it's not the cleanest hitbox in the world, but it is progress, I'll say. It is progress. Anyways, thanks, Trevor. That's pretty cool. So yeah, areas like this now, where there's trees, where there's rocks, players can no longer just run through them. I was in the midst of thinking, gosh, how would I create invisible walls for everything? There's too many objects to do. They did it for me. Now, that has given rise to some other issues. Now, previously, for example, because you could run through a rock, you were able to have players kind of, or buildings rather, hidden inside of things like those inns. I have many of these towers that are utilized for my airships. They can no longer be airshippy. Well, this one can. This one's fine, because the access point is this little green thing down here. So players, as long as they can get to that little target, they're able to go up inside. For example, this one here, though, I cannot because, I don't know, maybe it actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So maybe that's all they have to do is they have to get to that point. Can you guys, hold on, you're a player. Is large scenery like this still passable? No, see, this is a hard object too. Interesting. I mean, it's got some portions of it that I can walk into, but yeah, I guess as long as I can get in here to the main part of the door, the green arrow, then it's enough. Got it. As long as I can get to the green arrow, and the green arrow is not within said unpassable area, like that must, even though it's inside the object, it must not be inside the hitbox. This one, however, is not. That's my main point I'm trying to get to, and I'm just blabbering. So I need to move this tower, for example. So if I do like a precise move, will this show me when it's usable? Ooh, this is going to be problematic. Like, here comes Airshippy. Captain McAirship. Are you... Oh, he's probably merging where the... I guess it doesn't make any sense. He's not going to be able to carry anybody. Okay, anyways, he's not able to carry anybody because of reasons. Okay, if I just cancel you, you're there. So what I really need to do, this one over here, I don't think is actually even being utilized yet, because this was like future-proofed to some extent. If I put you there, your thing is red. Okay, so I need you to be green. To make you green, then I have to like, what the heck, man? I can't make you guys all cool inside of rocks anymore. Sad faces. Like I can build there, but your target is not. Yeah, okay, so right there is where you become accessible. Not a fan, not a fan. Gonna have to say. It's like scenery is fine to go in here. So like this guy is always clippable. Like I'm not worried about that one. You are already fine, but I gotta move you over. Oh, now that I'm moving you, you're not happy. Wasn't that exciting? If I put you there, you're gonna shift the earth a little bit. You're not even being used. There was one over here. You're fine, so I'm not even touching you. But you get utilized a lot, I think. So you're gonna kind of become the one maybe on the front-facing side here. Which I'm not a huge fan of right now. Okay, hold on. What if I get rid of some rockage here? We'll re-establish that in a moment here. Por favor. So I've been doing some other things kind of in my, I don't know, I guess free time. Oh, that'll work right there. That's good enough. In my quote-unquote free time, and by free time I just mean games I'm playing, not recording, and have absolutely no plan of ever recording, you know, unless I had 8 hours a day that I could spend on this sort of thing. But I've been playing a little bit of, when I say I'm playing a little bit, I mean I like basically started a character in RuneScape. RuneScape is a game I'd never played before. Played other MMOs. Larger scalar ones. I guess RuneScape's pretty damn big. And anyways, the idea was maybe I would learn more about the art of what exactly makes an MMO. And what I've learned is, you know, even though my towns look very like quaint and small and maybe not like super, you know, World of Warcrafty or something like that, RuneScape kind of fits the vibe, or this kind of fits that vibe. I don't know. But anyways, we shall move on, and the goal here is another new Terramatory. Specifically, I've been thinking this one. It's been on my mind. It's been in my head. Why do you have lightning bolts? Is that the new symbol for no power? How fascinating and exciting. So we're gonna go over here to, what did I name this? Winterthorn. That's not what I wanted to name it. I do like Thorn though. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna call it Hollowthorn. And I have a very specific idea for this region. First, we need to just clear out the sceneries because we're going from scratch. What are you? Oh, you're a guard. Never mind. I thought you were a player. Carry on. The goal with Hollowthorn was that it would predominantly be another forest. However, I want it to be a forest with a very recent twist. So I'm gonna move in space and stuff. We're just gonna get you guys out of the way over there. Why are the lightning bolts still here? Trevor, I found a bug. Trevor, note to devs, when you move scenery that has a little icon like the lightning bolt before you've established power, apparently the lightning bolts decide to just continuously live where you first put them. Just FYI, guys. Okay, specifically in terrain here, I want to make sure, yeah, field works. We don't need deserts, so we'll go forest. We already have chasm instead of swamp. I don't know, maybe mushroom grove. Not really sure. Oh gosh, it's applying it automatically. I didn't want you to actually put a mushroom grove there. Like, what are you doing? I mean, maybe there could be a mushroom grove, but not right there. Make all the terrain so far, just keep it to field. Because the first established thing I want to do in here is, if I go and put chasm is immediately dropping water. So this is the thing I really wanted to test after the last update, which was, if you put a chasm in, you get a river that's still really, really deep, and you get impassable areas on the side. Just heal that scar back up. But that's essentially what I want to accomplish. Why are you not? So really what I want to actually do is I want to use districts here, because the plan for this region is to create like a scar across it. Like, it's already kind of funky shaped, but I want it to be like a big gash mark of sorts, but I want it to be very specific. I mean, not like it's gonna be like a lightning bolt shape or anything like that, but just like there's an idea in my head. Okay. If I go Lake District, and then I don't know, like it should kind of maybe come off the mountain. So this also helps because now I can see the altitude difference, because this is gonna be the same altitude across all this. So it's actually higher over here, than it is there. I guess because it's associating the water here with being, this should be like high mountain pass here. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to make this really aggressively thin here because we're going to drop the height. If I drop this, I am able to go below 0, right? Yeah, I can go negative. Negative 51. I'm going to be honest, that is not as deep as I wanted to go, which is okay because this is a lot higher over here. Why is this so high? Holy crap. I actually don't want it to go that direction either. We're going to have it go. I'm going to have it jag this way and then make a big cut this way because it's going to end over this direction. Now, this is where things I think are going to get sort of tricky because what I'm visualizing here, and this is, gosh dang it, and what a great time to save game. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the save. As I was saying, this narrow spot right here between these two mountains is basically just going to be giant canyon was the idea, but not canyon like this is deserty canyon. This is gonna be like beautiful river waterfall, abundance of glory and beauty and growing things. You know, think Rivendell without all the cheesy Rivendell-ness. That's right, I called Rivendell cheesy. Okay, so I like how this is relatively steep in some spots, but the tough part here is I feel like I'm gonna have to design from the bottom up rather than the top to the bottom, which is how I would want to do it. But I could, actually what I could do, flat districts, yeah, I want flat districts so I can, okay, if I go flat district and I just make a district all the way from that corner, that gives me probably the height that I want to start with. Yeah, so if I go like that, how does that look on the entrance? On the entrance, it comes in flat, which is exactly what I wanted. I didn't realize how very straight shaped this technically was. Okay, if I go like this and butt it up against that, okay, it's good. It doesn't delete it. I thought it would for a second. Now, if I go like this, yeah, it puts it up on the other side. Okay. The real question is that considered the same district or two separate districts? I don't know. But I'm just going to paint this all the same. And that, I think, gives me my starting canvas. So yeah, here is the overall total depth that we can get. You are in a very precarious position there, friend. So this is good because you can actually make some pretty severe cracks in the earth. I like that. Unnamed district. Okay, so it is considering it all the same district. Let me be honest, I'm not really a fan of that. Okay, we'll give it no spread. The height can be higher. Who would have thunk it? Oh, okay, I see. And it basically will raise this entrance depending on... Yeah, okay, so this is down here, so it enters in and it basically says you either go really high up that way or you continue that way. Okay. Well, that's cool. I can then theoretically kind of change the slope on paths in between places. And then if I'm here... Oh, this is kind of neat. Like, you can actually see up and over. Whoa, okay, that's actually not kind of neat right there. That's problematic, actually. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess. But yeah, you can see into the other region, which I'm okay in terms of seeing some of the regions out this way toward the oceans and stuff. But I'm not going to have it this high realistically, so I'm just... this is a learning experience. This is a learning experience. Okay, good to know. We're not going to have you start that high. I take you down to 89? No, it's still pretty high. I like how I can see the mountain. That's kind of cool, but it is still too high. What I need to do is have several districts here that are new. How do I new district this? Okay, if I delete, I just have to be careful because I don't want to delete my river. Yeah, if I do that, it will delete everything. Yeah, this is going to be challenging. It's going to be really challenging. I should not have made the entire thing a district. Oh, fail. Okay, it's fine. This is salvageable. Okay, I'm gonna set a rule for myself right now. 8 is the number I'm using for the river so that I can keep consistent thickness. Don't like it, hate it already. Try that again, Kyle. Come out. You can do a curvy that way, then take it in through this way. kick it right down the middle of that spot. And you're going to come this way just a smidge, make it a gash, and then come down here. And we're going to end it into there. Okay. All right. So now when I'm making like layers to this, I just got to be very careful. But once a district is established, like the river, I can't paint over it, which is good for the river, but it's bad for everywhere else. So let's keep this up here. We'll have it kind of relatively flat. This can come up higher-ish. If I take this all the way up, we bring you down. Ah, see, it's like, so are people going to be able to pass through here is the question. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of this. This is the biggest problem right now. To me, this feels like a bug. Doesn't this kind of feel like a bug? Because now in order to make this not look ridiculous, gotta kind of come in like this. You kind of come up to, it's sort of like a bluff almost, even though there's mountains on the side. Ignore that, but kind of make this feel like it slopes less aggressively with the mountains on the side. It's still sloping aggressively down here, and that's fine. And if we scale this out, okay, so it has to get to about there before it presents itself as a mellow enough slope to walk on. Okay, so keep that like that. Then as far as the river goes, if I make the sloping area really big for now, but then drop the altitude, that makes it more of like a river basin, which actually looks quite charming, but is not the intent here. And then we take the spread. At what point do you become impassable? Right there. Right, so if I just give it no walkability in there. Okay. All right, what I want to do is establish some bridges. Like I can kind of already see the pockets of where gameplay can occur. So if we have, I don't want a town right here because you've already got Zephyr. It doesn't make sense to have a town right here, but we can have like, maybe this should be more rugged right here. So let's think about that. The town should occur in maybe a little bit more of an obscure spot. I have an idea. I'm gonna get rid of this section of river. So if I go, I want to take it this way, jagged it this way, and then take it back around like this. This is becoming really squiggly in there. I gotta move faster with the tool. Good enough. Yeah, like what if I gave it a kind of a horseshoe bend? Okay, I'm not meaning to, well, actually, now that I think about it, I wasn't intending to have anything funky like this, but what if I go like this? What if we do go like, okay, we're adding character, that's what we're doing. And it's fine because we have bridges now. Okay, we'll put the town, I'm thinking like more centralized right here, but it has to be really high up, really high up. But here's what we're gonna do. This is as high as I want to make it based on the mountains, I think. Could go a little higher, but it's just I have strong opinions. Gonna give ourselves creative freedom, what I'm calling it now. Okay, so if I take you up, like this just becomes a really, really flat spot where there should have been a town. It would have made a lot of sense, and I don't want it to make sense. I don't want it to make that much sense. I mean, it needs to make sense, but I don't want it to have I don't want it to be the intent of having a town. All right, first of all, I'm gonna move you. Boop. Okay, I've got a better idea. Okay, so we need some narrow spots here. We're gonna create an illusion. I'm gonna have this enter in. Ooh, wait, okay. No. We're gonna delete you back to there. And then you are actually gonna go really high. Have you enter in high. So it's mountainous. And then, yeah, have you drop in. Right. Bear with me here. Okay, we're making hairpins. It's going to be a path with very intentional intentiness behind it. Kind of the same way I did with the river. Yes, now in theory, the big question is this here. So now I have no idea if this is gonna mess up pathing at all, but that's one of those I'll cross that bridge when I come to it type things. Oh, a nice little flat patch there. I want the height of this to come back up towards the height of this. So we're gonna have you probably end the highest. Now the real kicker is this sections like this are gonna have to be, yeah, we'd have to kind of go like this to the end there. We can put rocks there. And then maybe there's a higher point in here. Okay, so that doesn't look like much, but we go to paths. Yeah, so this is the stuff I'm not sure about is in here. And that's kind of why I'm like, okay, okay, that was maybe the issue. Need to be like that sort of. And again, the rocks can become the impenetrable spots. Yeah, I guess I do want this to be impenetrable here. Go like that. A little awkward, but again, you need to come up like this. I'm okay if this is like a trippier walkway. Just gonna try and create the illusion of like, I don't want you to just enter high and be high. Enter high, walk through here, come back up to more of a reveal that allows me to be higher here. Like that's all the way up. You can kind of see the mountains, but it doesn't get rid of the illusion there. You can, I guess, kind of see into Brightwood. Okay if you see the tops of the trees, but I feel like maybe we'll put some more rocks there, especially here. Maybe widen this. All right, now the moment of truth. Does this look ridiculous? I could probably change that path a little bit, actually. Okay, yeah, that's sort of acceptable. A district like this one, maybe I go up a little bit. I mean, if the goal was to make it very mountainous terrain, I think we succeeded. Like, and just for context, I guess, like rocks like this, without them doing a whole bunch of shifting around, you know, could kind of exist like that, you know? Like, I'll just put that there for reference sake right now. And then on the Brightwood side here, kind of just go like this. I would like a good chunk of this area to be predominantly the same height. So I kind of like to use this as a reference with the mountain sides here. Like that's flat there, that's flat there. So it's almost like it's allowed to be higher over here than it is over here, which means we might be better off splitting this. And then if I do this, oh, it's keeping them together still. Fascinating. All right, so this I can take up. Let's just sweep it out that way. That should stay severe because of the water. Theoretically, though, I can take it up to about there. So let's do this. Let's get a big, long slope. Wait, can I take that? And then I'm going to use that to my advantage as I delete some of it. Because now that'll create some more natural looking slopes without having to create too many layers here, I think. Because this starts to dip here, let's just get rid of that there. Okay, I just widened the river down just a little bit because I want there to act a little bit like we're getting some minor tributaries as well. So starting... If I go like this, and I meet you to there, what I need to do is go severe like that, and then we need you to drop in height just a smidge. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Drop that. Yeah, that's what I want right there. That's what I want right there. My little guard dude, you can probably get relocated. You should probably come back over here with the fake town that will eventually become a real town. And then it'll say things like, I'm a real town. Okay, now that means we need to play with the districts here because this is looking very aqueducty. Don't want it to be aqueducty. Wasn't there another setting for rivers? Actually, better yet, what I should do. Get rid of that. Because I can have this in sections too, Guile. What I should have been doing the whole time. Okay, so the big one is this one has to look good. Not a fan of you so far. Again, rocks and such can be added. That's actually not bad there. You could probably go lower. Now here's where I want things to get buck wild. We're gonna have like some pools. There, probably here. And we'll do it here. The other thing I really need to be careful about is if I make too many, like, scenery, landscapey type situations going on, there's going to be no room in here for mobs to fight. But I think I got a good idea for a mob. I can still work in a crowded environment. Okay, it's gonna look like a humble jumbled spiderweb mess of nonsense at the moment, but just bear with me. Okay, there is the starting point. It is still a blank and empty canvas. Now what I've got to do is actually go through and create the land portions and the heights that they're all going to be at. But I'd say that is a pretty good start. So what I want to see here is people walk in through this space here. They come up to this top ridge. This is going to kind of scale down a little bit. This will kind of be open area where I'm assuming I'll have mobs. There'll be mobs in here too, but I want this to be kind of a not really populated area, and it's almost like a, I don't want to say sacred grove of like waterfall area here, but I want it to really feel special. But there's a lot of things to discover and find, kind of like how the rainforesty area was here, where it's like very overgrown, unpopulated, not explored super well. Maybe we'll add like an explorers league or something. But we can hide dungeons in here. We can hide like all kinds of weird quirky quests. Now that I'm kind of feeling out where the in space needs to be, I'm thinking more over in this space. So that way it's sort of close to here, but this should feel like a destination. Yeah, let's go ahead and continue working on the landscape. Looking at this, let's try to get this next kind of flattened out here. So I want it to feel obviously like there's some slope here. This is going to cut through, so we're going to have waterfall there. How exactly does this look? Okay, that's fine. Here's a question though. Something like this. If I recolor land and I make this like very brown. Okay, it's like gray. That's more brown, I guess. Ooh, that's sandy. Is that right? Does that look right? That was very sandy. It's more like beach sandy. I just need to go darker with it. I like can't see it very well. That's even more white. Okay, give me a second here. I mean, this is almost kind of the same hue as the mountains behind it, and I kind of like it. And if I put rocks with it, I think that might actually work. So I might stick with that, which means I need to copy this value here. Okay, there. It's like a grayish kind of soil, I guess, is the color I'm going for there, but it matches this as if there's like silt runoff that's coming down here. I don't want it to be like sandy, like it's a beach sand out here. So I think that works for now. I will probably use the same thing over here, but we will see. I do like how this though is creating like some landscape here. I'm okay with that, and then I want to feel like this is cut through the land a little bit, so I will... I should, in order to maybe get this actually, to get this section up a little bit here, just so it feels a little bit more like the river was redirected to turn that direction. Plateau that up a little bit. So that way when you get over here, I'll work on how they come down from this platform, but I want them to come in here, kind of like have the ability to come over here. Maybe there's like a small rickety bridge here, but you can kind of see where the water flows down here. I'm gonna put a bridge from here to here, across this way to get to where we're going to establish a little camp town, and then a little bridge here just so there's a way to get over here, and then we'll have bridge from here to here to connect the town over to this area, because we'll have some mob fighting over there more than likely, as well as kind of probably everywhere around here. And then over here the bridge situation is going to get maybe a little bit more labyrinthy intentionally, which I think will be just part of the gameplay for the area. Then here let's kind of have something kind of step down slightly. I don't know if this is exactly how I want to do this. Probably not. I don't think they can walk down this, but just to make it so, I'm gonna go like that. I mean, I've sort of got a plan. I don't really have a plan, let's be honest. Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna put a little thing here. Better idea. Okay, I am gonna make this super cliffy. That's gonna make this a little sketch-magetch, but we will Increase the spread. Again, we're making that intentionally treacherous. Let's increase this just so it feels like there's a straight cliff. Even curve it out just a little bit. We'll fill this with rocks. We'll make this mountain. We'll put like a small camp here, and then intentionally I honestly think the best rickety bridge is probably this one. There's too much there, though. I don't like how it squishes the building to go down a slope like that. I don't like how many there are when I go down like that. So if I go like that, it creates a pathway, at least. Kind of go like that. We can kind of go that, too. I'm not really a fan of this, but I think I can put enough rocks and stuff around it that I can make this feel a little more normal, but we'll see. Okay, and then over here, we'll go kind of old school rickety bridge. I don't want the double arch. Can I get a single arch? I guess it does it in even numbers, it looks like. All right, well, what if I go like that? That looks incredibly awkward. I get that it's what it's supposed to be. My river's just not big enough. If I just go like that, that's probably fine. And then from here, I don't really want... Well, we can go kind of a path. We can sort of path it across the mountain range here. Let's go like that. Maybe this should be the path. Like maybe we can put a small bridge maybe over here. That I could work with. This bridge should be a little more established. That's a little too established. This is also too established. Could go with the old mine cart bridge. Maybe that's the best option, honestly. Or there's this one. This is a pretty good bridge. I don't like... Ooh, that's actually good spacing. I don't like the singular pillar right in the middle, but I do like that, being able to have pylons set up on each side. A little high here. Actually, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like that for other reasons, because I'm going to not have anything crossing this, because I'm just going to say it's too hard to build ladders. Too hard to build bridges. That's the word I'm actually thinking of. And then what I really want to do is, as this path comes down, we can kind of go like that. That creates a good cliff face here. And then we can create another layer. Okay, I'm trying to create somewhat of a different cliff face here. And maybe, okay, I've added desert. Only because I want to see what'll happen if... Alright, and then if I take the desert, maybe if I change the... Oh, okay, not what I wanted. Yeah, I can kind of make it maybe more of the right rocky color. That's probably better color there. Go a little lighter with it, like that. Okay, so yeah, if I go kind of more of a color like that, then if I add rocks and stuff to it, it'll get a little bit better of the cliff face color I'm going for. Same goes for like down here, but I might have to utilize the chasm itself to say like that. Yeah, okay, that actually makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that's the right kind of rockier color. And then when I add rocks to it, it'll have like the right accent color to it, which is exactly what I want to have happen. And then this is kind of chiseled away because I'm going to say it's kind of like it was a makeshift kind of quarry at some point, maybe. Have I used quarries elsewhere? Have I already done a quarry? I don't think I've made a quarry. Let me know in the comments if I've ever made quarries before. And then what I could do for this little blotch here is I don't need to actually make a flat district. I can just go like this, and I think I should be able to do it with a normal district and just, yeah, recolor. Boom. Great. Fantastic. So we'll add rocks in there that'll add the right like context, textures, and colors. And then for the time being, we'll kind of use this, I think, to kind of go... What I want is... Yeah, we'll kind of use the old train track one here. Actually, let's go here. Gonna take it down this way. Oh, I can have it turn? Oh, I didn't know I could do that. All right, well, go like that. Because then I could path like this. And then in theory, if I understand how this works correctly, this is what I want to use to create the bridge, but I don't want to go straight across like that. I'm also still not a fan of this. I do need to bridge my way down though. Okay, so we will have one of these. We'll say it stays intact to about there. And then I could always put another one. How steep is that? That's pretty steep. It would make sense to have something here though, because that's not that far to make a bridge. Apparently a cactus decided to pop up here. That's not applicable. So why is my guard over here? You know what? You can just camp out there. You're doing your own thing. Yeah, I think what actually makes sense here is the terrain. So the real question is, if I go like that, I think that this is traversable here. Down through there. So kind of say like there's an old cart track here that maybe used to come all the way down, but is broken. We'll build the scenery for that. Over here, that is a pretty good little, I think, makeshift path. I think that kind of sets a tone of like, this is very hard terrain to get through, and I'm not going to have much of this traversable except for maybe a path over here. This could be like a, I want to say a rickety bridge over here, but in a perfect world, I'd almost rather there not be supports. Like, there's too many of those. Those are too big. I don't really know how else. Like, this is the kind of thing I would put like a log on. This. But see, if I do this, then like the bridge itself still has all the rocks. It still has a staircase leading up on one side. So like thought process, work in progress. We'll come back to that. I do think from an adventurous standpoint, there should be some amount of bridges going on in here. So like we've got this will go to there. I kind of want everything to some extent to be explorable. Like for some of these, like if I were to go like this, and then we view it through interact. Yeah, we kind of get that. So rocks will help create the illusion of barrier there. This is a little thin. Okay, so if there's a bridge here and this is all walkable up through to there, like it would be nice if there was like a way to cross sections like this too. Unless I make this like a little more untraversable. Could just be a big pile of rocks here because I'm gonna want to cover up the water. That is definitely a thing. Over here in sections like this could genuinely be pretty high. Now it looks like those two things would definitely have like a separated waterfall to it. We'll have to kind of do the same thing over in these areas. And I think coming to a pinnacle point like this, where you could look out in all directions and kind of see a lot of the waterfalls, feels pretty cool too. So we'll kind of make this mountainous here. All right, this can take a lot of finessing at times, but here we go. We got that there. High platforms. I'm going to keep the rest of this relatively low. I think this is a good foundation for this. There's lots of workable, walkable areas through here, which was the goal, to make this all explorable. And then we'll have to use a lot of rocks and stuff to kind of hide some of the aspects of this, but... So, yeah, there'll be some scenery madness that will go on through here. I don't want there to be paths, but I do want there does have to be bridges. We're going to prioritize these ones just to be able to cross certain areas. And here I want this to feel kind of cool. So without obviously getting rid of too much water, but I can carve out this way. All right. Lots of fun bridges that should be able to get people just about everywhere. I'm just realizing this is inaccessible. So there should be one kind of here. Maybe there's another one here. I think this is technically inaccessible, but hey, maybe there'll be flying mounts someday. That right there makes it possible to do like a full loop. But I would say that for now, this is probably a really good starting spot for this province. We've kind of got some established areas where we can make quests, we can put mobs. It's all traversable, which is a huge step forward. Water is way more usable compared to what it's been in other cases in previous iterations of the game. And the verticality problem of the game has sort of been solved. It's not completely solved. There's still some aspects of like being able to, you know, I really like it if at some point you could walk up on top of or put paths vertically like on top of scenery, because that was the goal of the Zephyr city here. But a lot of the verticality for landscapes has kind of been solved. So yeah, this is all usable now, which is incredible considering where the game came from. So let's do a little quick looky-loo. Obviously there's no cool scenery yet for people to come in, but they're gonna walk in, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, we gotta go down this crazy mountainous path. We can put some stuff in here. Maybe there'll be some starter quests to get people going, something going on in here. Climb all the way up here, and then you kind of get the first sort of big reveal. We'll be able to see waterfalls in the distance. You got waterfall there. There might be trees and stuff. So I don't know. There might be some coverage here, but you're going to walk in. Maybe this will be remaining field with some mobs. Whoop, don't fall. Then you got to walk down the path here. We got a bridge. You could go out this way. There's not going to be an advertised path for a bridge, but I think I want to keep a bridge there, whatever it ends up being. You got the first kind of reveal of waterfalls here, so you can kind of go explore and be like, oh, this is cool. And then you come over here and you see this giant cavern with a river. Not cavern, I guess crevasse is the right word. Then you come over here, you got Old Quarry. You can see the town over there, so you'll want to go explore that. But you'll also see all the majesticness that is out this direction. Lots and lots to work with. But I would say that is enough for now, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful day.